In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to replace your turbo on your T1N Sprinter. These general steps apply to both OM612 and 647 engines, though I am working on a 647 engine in this video. Now, what type of turbo you should replace it with, a Chinesium one or a genuine Garrett, or go for a cartridge yourself, I'm just going to say stay tuned for lessons I learned trying to rebuild my turbo. However, that does not negate the steps in this video. To start, you're going to want to remove the main turbo hose here. This is your intake and the crankcase breather hose. Then remove this hose clamp and that hose clamp right there, along with that bolt and that bolt. They both affix the metal pipe to the van. You pull that metal pipe out, and that's how you're going to get all the access in the world that you'll need to do this job. So this is how to properly remove the turbo bolts. Maybe you get lucky, maybe your turbo's been done recently. I'm using a 1/2-inch wrench here. Nothing, okay? I'm not pulling too hard on it, I'm not monkeying it, I'm not trying to round the bolt at all. If you round the bolt, you've just created more problems than it's worth. Okay, if it's not ready, I take a torch and I heat it. This is gonna take a hot minute. Okay, so now that I've heated the bolt to, looks like about 300 degrees. But now that I've got it heated up that much, I take my wrench, pop it on there like that, and just give it the same amount of tug, and boom, it popped. Just that easy. All three of them like that. So, yep, that's the part I was worried about. That's, believe it or not, the hardest part. So now we'll move on with the disassembly of everything else and making sure I don't make a huge mess everywhere. Hopefully you get luckier than me with your exhaust clamp, but this is unfortunately what I had to do to get the bolt loose. It is a 13mm bolt, and it is a clamp, so once you get it, just keep going, and it's the clamp at the end of the turbo, so that's where the turbo connects to the exhaust. You can actually pull the bolt all the way out of the exhaust clamp, and this is what it looks like. This one's actually in better condition than most that I've seen, surprisingly. Now, this clamp, yep, should be ready to come out from around the turbo. Now there is a donut that actually goes between the exhaust and the turbo. You can kind of see it here. Unfortunately, I have not been able to source a new donut, so I'll be reusing either the one that's on this turbo. Though I didn't get very good footage of it, I proceeded to move on to removing the turbo support bracket. And after discourse with Bill, I am going to be loosening one of the E-bolts up there. In fact, that one, just that one that you can see, I'm going to be loosening that just so that the pipe has a little bit more movement on it when it comes out. With enough extensions, it's possible to get in there. And I'm just going to pretty much loosen it. Next step is going to be to pull the top oil line. So there's a tiny little E-Torx bolt right here on the side of the engine. You're going to want to remove that E-Torx bolt. As you can see, it's full of oil and crap. I can't wait to wash this engine after. And then after that, it's a banjo bolt on top. I'm not quite sure on the size of that off the top of my head. Now for removing the E10 bolt that holds the oil feed into the head, you're going to want a shorter extension like this, and then it comes off very easily. Next up is going to be that banjo bolt right there. I've already disconnected one bolt from the return, pretty much everything else, so this turbo should be coming out soon. Banjo bolt that connects the oil feed line to the turbo. It has a 13mm on it, or a 1/2 inch. Once it's broken loose, it comes off pretty easily. In fact, I should just be able to spin it. And I can already see the line moving, so it's already ready to come out of the block, which is good. I've got some cardboard down below. In fact, I'm going to move my good cardboard out so I can ruin my already ruined cardboard. Should be 2 seals on this, by the way, on the top and the bottom. Looks like one stayed on, and as you can see, it's a banjo bolt, which means it feeds oil through the bolt. Pretty sweet design. And hey, this is ready to come out. The line pretty much just pops out, and it's got an O-ring on the end of it. If you don't replace this O-ring, you will leak oil. You've been warned. Getting closer to getting ready to remove the turbo. Last minute things, I'm gonna disconnect the turbo actuator from underneath. I'm gonna make sure there's nothing else connected to it, and then should be able to get those bolts all the way out with a speed wrench, and then we'll be able to pretty much lift the turbo out. Except the speed wrench doesn't fit. Third one. Oh, there we go. All right. That's a motherfucking turbo right there. Let's take a look at that turbo. As you can see, the turbo I took out has obvious impeller damage from unfiltered air. Okay, so this is my absolute unit here. Which I just put the oil return line on. I've got my gasket ready. I really didn't want to dirty this up too much, but hey, whatever. So it's pretty much gonna just get dropped in and then oiled, and then I'll start putting everything back together slowly. So I'll do that. That might be one of the easiest reinstalls I've ever done. That truthfully kind of just went right in. It's tricky because I have to make sure that the return line is in the block, and I also have to make sure that everything's lined up perfectly here for the gasket. Oh, sorry. I almost wish I had something sticky to stick the gasket on beforehand, but well,
I'll grab it.
Up go. Now that our nice new turbo's installed, I'm gonna finger tight the bolts. Now, one bolt from the turbo refeed line, the turbo return line that I took off earlier to get the turbo out easier, I've already tightened that back up. So you wanna make sure you do that before you get too far into this. Otherwise you're gonna be leaking oil from the bottom of your turbo. A speed wrench would make this easier if only they made a speed wrench that fit on the turbo or on these exhaust bolts. That would be amazing. They don't, so here I am just half turning my life away. And the torque on these is as tight as you can get them. Don't forget to install the new gasket. I like this gasket that I got because it's got a little indicator here saying that yes, I did remember to install the gasket. That's really good and tight. Yep, that's good. Okay. All right, so now that you've got the 3 bolts that connect the turbo to the exhaust manifold torqued down to tight enough, you want to come over here and make sure you get your exhaust clamp back on. Go ahead and take the 1/2-inch bolt here. I'm going to finger start it. And you should be able to clamp this a reasonable amount around your turbo by hand to verify that it is on right. So, yep. Now it's just about patience and bolting it back up and trying not to hit the tool with the freshly painted turbo. So the exhaust clamp is on at the back of the turbo here. As you can see, the 2 sides of the clamp are touching. I've put this in a spot that is very easily accessible later because you don't have to get the nut on the bottom side. It's captive to the clamp. So now the next step, actually, I'm going to pre-oil this turbo from the top. I got a little syringe with some mineral oil that I'm gonna put in, and I'm gonna go ahead and manually spin the turbo by hand while I do that, just to start pre-lubricating it. And then we'll be able to install this top line into the engine block there. I'm gonna go ahead and slowly squirt a little bit of that while I spin the turbo here. Oop, and there we go. I just squirted it all over the brand new turbo. Oops. These 2 copper O-rings I'm holding should always be installed new, along with this oil O-ring. So one's gonna go directly under the banjo bolt. It's gonna go through like this, and the other one goes like that, and boom. The way to do this is to install it into the side of the head first, and then to try and line it up with the top. Started, okay, excellent. Now I'm gonna come in here, take this tiny little E10. If I can get my fingers right, here we go. But I do believe that it is starting. All right, so I was able to finger tight that bolt all the way in. So now I'm just gonna come and give it just a little bit of torque. Like that's it. Literally that's it. You don't wanna go any more than that. Now I'm gonna come in here again with the 15mm. Luckily I got that handy. I'm just gonna go ahead and start tightening the feed line down. Again, I was able to do that mostly by hand, and I'll come and just give it a good tightening like that. Okay, so we're getting there. Now you might have noticed that my actuator arm came off a bit, so I'm just gonna go ahead and reline this back up. There we go, that's on. Feels good. Okay, next step, I'm gonna reconnect the turbo resonator here, and then we'll be able to finish up and start the van. I'm trying so hard to not scratch the turbo. Once the resonator is in, I'll go in and tighten up the two E8, I believe they are, bolts, but either way I can use a 1/4 inch 12-point wrench to get those on. All right. I feel like I'm doing surgery.
Dr. Gray, what are you doing?
I'm reinstalling the turbo resonator. Just some things to check before you start the van for the first time. Was the actuator wire connected? Is your exhaust clamp tight? Are all your exhaust to turbo bolts tight? Turbo oil feed and return lines at both ends tight? Resonator connected? And did you double check to make sure there's no leaks in the charge air system? Florida Van Man is donation based. If you appreciate what we do for the Sprinter community, be sure to leave us a donation at our Buy Me a Coffee links in the description below. Now to start the van and take it for a test drive. No massive leaks anywhere.
You gotta go take it for a drive, huh?
Note to self, put a lift kit on this van. Fuck yeah, science!